Welcome to Friday. Welcome to the Mindfulness Broadcast. All right, so let's get started. I want to tell you, this is kind of a funny story. I want to tell you an experience that I experienced my own humanity and caught myself and then had a really mindful moment. And as it was happening, I also thought, oh, I can't wait to share this because it was funny afterwards. But I was all over this week, coast to coast in the United States, speaking at conferences. And I was supposed to get to one in Virginia Beach a day early, 2 days early. So I had one whole day just to be on the beach and kind of chill out. Um, and so I had this expectation of what that was going to be like. And as you can imagine, airlines don't always line up with our expectations, right? So my expectation is that I was going to have this whole day, 2 nights in the hotel room without like having to get ready for a talk and no kids and just me and my journal and the beach and the ocean. And instead what happened is I stayed in multiple hotels. It was in Denver and Chicago and all sorts of other places than Virginia Beach, and showed up, about 12 hours before I spoke. And then flew out the next day back to the other coast. And so, anyway, in this moment of this happening, experience after experience after experience, delay after delay after delay, talking to AI bot after AI bot, I found myself blaming really angrily that the airline had not met my expectations. And I was taking it out on this person in the airport who represented that airline because it was the only human I could find that worked for that airline. And she became my target. And could feel myself ramping up, but I was also just in it. Like I was so frustrated. I was so upset. I was definitely having a really terrible case of FOMO, missing out on my beach experience and my alone time. And the moment that I heard myself is when I said to her, "This is inhumane." And then I just paused and I thought, there is so much happening in the world that is inhumane. And me with my little coffee and delayed flight, whereupon I get cookies and iced water if I'd like, is not inhumane, right? But I heard myself, and it was at that moment metacognition started kicking in for me, my ability to think about my thinking, and I could feel myself kind of rise up. My amygdala hijack had ceased for a moment. My prefrontal cortex kicked back in. I just felt it. I felt this whole process happen. And I just sat back, took breaths, literally just sat in the airport, breathing, calming myself down, went back, apologized to the woman, and then surrendered. And I had to really talk to myself, literally say my name, Tiffany. This is not inhumane. Tiffany, you are fine. You are safe. Everything is fine. All your needs are met. Your expectations aren't being met. I had to have this moment with myself where one part of my brain was talking to the other part of my brain, and I could feel my whole system shift. And I just surrendered. And it was beautiful, and nothing changed externally. I was still at that point stuck, I don't know where, in Denver or Chicago. I was not on the beach in Virginia City or Virginia Beach. So nothing externally had changed. I had changed. And it was this moment, two moments for me. One, practicing mindfulness, teaching the neuroscience of mindfulness. That's what the irony is, that's what I was going there to do. Doesn't make us non-human, right? So we still have emotions and responses and expectations. And what all that practice allowed me to do was, in the moment, notice it and think about my thinking and own my behavior and apologize and come back in to my values and what's important to me and with what my reality actually is, right? Rather than what I want it to be and not owning the reality of my moment. So, anyway, it was wonderful. It was ridiculous and wonderful all in one moment. And I wanted to pass that along. So, with that, let's get into our practice this morning. You can close your eyes or find a soft gaze. We're going to use a practice this morning that invites a few longer silences than we usually practice. So you'll hear me kind of go offline for a moment. And when that happens, what I want you to do is just observe, again, kind of rise above yourself and observe your mind. Observe what it does without judgment, without expectation, or at least noticing the expectation. So find your breath. And what that means when I say find your breath is breathe and know that you're breathing. Be very aware of that inhale, what it feels like. And then a long, slow exhale, feeling it as it goes past your lips, feeling your belly and your lungs collapse. So breathe and know that you're breathing. And I want you to come into your body as well. So you can invite that same phrase, sit, and know that you're sitting. Stand and know that you're standing, whatever your body posture is. Feel it. Feel where it makes contact with the chair or the floor. Feel where your body makes contact with itself. For example, I can feel my warm hands on my thighs, above my knees as I sit. I can feel my toes touching each other if I wiggle them. Be in this moment and know that you are in this moment, in this reality. And as we go into this first stretch of silence, rising above, witnessing yourself, witnessing distractions or thoughts or attachments. Just returning to your current moment experience every time you notice a distracted or judgy mind. Returning to your breath or returning to your body. Observing any distraction, any wandering mind, and just noting it and then returning to your experience, your breath or your body. Notice if you've got tension around your attention, if it feels like an arm wrestling match where you're trying to stay focused, and seeing if you can just invite some ease. Your wandering mind is not a problem. Judgment is not a problem. We're just noticing it, noticing how often we go there, lovingly catching ourselves, and then kindly returning to the breath or the body. Breathe and know that you're breathing. Sit and know that you're sitting. Surrender everything just to be exactly where you are, exactly who you are. Surrender so that you can feel exactly what you're already feeling. And then lovingly wrap your arms around your own humanity as we drift from that. And we'll begin to close our practice. And give yourself some gratitude for showing up this morning, for this beautiful commitment to yourself and to the way you experience this precious life. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes or bring your gaze back up. You're amazing. Thank you for joining me. Be well, everyone.